here's why I give no real credit to Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch, for those who don't know. All right, I found a good example online of George Silver's true and false time that I've been talking about over the years. And I think this is a great example. It's the DKU demo. But I want to back up for a second, and I want to play a video of somebody who explains the George Silver true time versus false time. Now, remember, my experience with this was when I was under my second teacher, Phil Nearing. The guy, we had a falling out, is what it is, but I'm not going to take away of his brilliance. There's question in his teaching methodology, but again, too, if you're a professional teacher, it's how you got to make money, but it was transparency that I had an issue with. Anyways, so Phil taught us true time versus false time, which is a great concept, and if you can incorporate it and discover it within yourself, it's fucking awesome, right? So what happened is that Phil, for a year, had us, the dedicated students doing the turning punch, right? The Wing Chun turning punch. And what we would do after you were kind of more advanced and in the club, Phil would kind of show you the secret, right? The energetics or whatnot. So what he did is he had us kick our punches off, our turning punch. He would have us kick it off with the punch. I've done other videos on this, and I'll probably talk about this more in the future and do demos. But the point was to throw your punch out first, and then back that timing up with your turn, right? You're shifting, right? Shifting and turning are the same thing when I talk about them. You turn your horse, right? Because that's where the power comes from. So for a whole dedicated year, we would try, how do you get your punch? Yeah, you had to discover it. And the analogy I give is with a whip, right? With a bull whip, like an Indiana Jones bull whip, the sonic boom that comes with the crack of the tail of the tip that comes from the handle. You swing that handle, you cause a shockwave to go down there, and the tip gets that boom. Well, how do you do that if you throw the tip out first and then try to crack it in midair? It was difficult for us to do. So after a year's worth of training in that, never forget it, one day he comes in and he goes, all right, remember, turning punch. And then we're in the turning punch, and Phil would sit in those red mats and he'd go, wrong. He would just sit there and bellow out like that. He had a very big, he was an opera singer at one point too. He had a very deep voice. And make no mistake, I fucking hate the guy, but I don't hate him anymore, but he was like a father figure to me. I loved him very much at one point. I'll give him credit for that. He he's one of the biggest influences on my Wing Chun career. I cannot fault him for that. Just had a falling out. Anyways, so at the tail during class, he would remember, you kick your turn starts the punch, and we're like, we're not arguing with him. What the fuck? Is he getting senile? Because he was in his 60s at this point. Fuck is he talking about? So after a whole year's worth of tuition getting us out to do one thing, which he was classically conditioning us to do, he taught us the exact opposite after a year. The point being and this was the brilliance in this, you just have to be upfront with your students on it. But again, too, a lot of students, they want to put the cart before the horse. They want to rush on shit. So I get it. It was, well, wait a second. If you told us throw the punch out first and do the turn, now it's do the turn, throw the punch out. Well, which is it? You have to find that incorporation in the two. And the point of where George Silver's swordplay for true and false time breeds in to Wing Chun is to be able to throw that strike from any position, any moment, any time, and get that full power, regardless of the timing of yourself and your enemy. So I want to play this really quickly. I want to give him credit for definition. I just came across this. This was the first video I saw. This is George Silver's True Time by NYHFA. This video is 4 years old, but this is from their YouTube. And I'm going to back this up a little bit and let this play for a minute just so you can get some definitions before we move forward.
I'm Mike Edelson. I'm Corey Winslow. And we're making a video about George Silver's True Times. The research that went into this was done by myself, Corey, and Betsy Winslow, but Corey and Betsy don't like improvised videos, so Corey's just going to stand here and let me talk while he helps me demonstrate. So this is going to be a short video because Silver's True Times are very simple. First, what are the true times? We're going to put some words on the screen.
All right, so by definition, The true fights be these: whatsoever is done with the hand before the foot or the feet is true fight. The false fights are these: whatsoever is done with the foot or the feet before the hand is false, because the hand is swifter than the foot or the feet being the slower mover than the hand. The hand in the manner of the fight is tied to the time of the foot or the feet, and being tied thereto has lost its freedom and is made thereby as slow in his motions as the foot or feet, thereby, and therefore that the fight is false. George Silver, A Paradox of Defenses. The brilliance of this, and this is the one thing I am thankful for Phil. Phil brought some philosophy into Wing Chun. You were meant to think in his classes, and it was great. Then you think about this, it's true. If you start off any punch with your feet, what are you doing? You're telegraphing. You're telegraphing, right? Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch. We're going to look at that in a second, right? It's a telegraphed movement, but the contact is made already, right? So it's true if you kick stuff off with your hand, right? It's closer. That, you know, a jab, it's going to come right at you, right? It's aligning a path you can't see, right? So it's a true concept, but where's the power come from there? So I want to let this continue on for another second here.
So basically, Silver's saying that anything that's done with the hand before the body or foot is true, and anything that's done with the body or foot before the hand is false. And what he means by that is the person who has to reposition themselves before attacking or gain distance before attacking is using false times, whereas the person who is striking without having to reposition themselves is using true times. Now, how do we know?
I'll let you watch the rest of this video because I think it's fantastic, and I want to give them credit. NYHFA on YouTube. I'm actually going to subscribe to them. I don't know if they're doing any content. It doesn't look like it's for a while. Their content, they don't have anything about them. So this is them at NYHFA on YouTube. Make sure you check them out.
It's about that technique.
All right, a really quick jump. If you've never seen this video with Michael Jai White and Kimbo Slice, this exemplifies the reason for why true time and false time are so important when you wind up learning to deliver your punch. If you haven't seen this, I don't want to play this in entirety. I'm going to get on. There's a contest. Kimbo is supposed to move his hand from Michael Jai White with 3 attempts for him not to let him hit his hand.
So what you want me to do?
Just move it out the way.
All right.
So now notice the speed of the first 2, right? Ready?
Yeah.
That's 1, 2. Okay, now here's the third one. Don't let me hit it. Ready?
Yeah. How the hell?
And if you ever watch the video, he goes on to explain that he's telegraphing the first 2 with his shoulder and body movement. You just type in Michael Jai White, Kimbo Slice. He goes into the biology or mechanics, if you will, of why we have taillights on cars. Because if you're coming up on a car that's slowing down or stopped, our eyes will not pick up the object change as quickly as we will lights, red lights, right? So that's why they have taillights on cars and brake lights on cars. This is a great video that explains that. Again, this is Michael Jai White and Kimbo Slice. I want to go into more false time. If we look at this one, this is Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch, right? And he starts off with a 6-inch punch from his position. Just watch his body. Watch his start from the feet. All right, that's going to be what George Silver would consider false time. Right? And you're delivering power. The inch punch is nothing more than delivering your body mass into the end result, which is, the closest target. Inch power could be done from your knees. Inch power could be done from a shoulder butt. Inch power can be a head butt. Inch power could be anywhere. All is the one, and you know what? Not for nothing either. The one thing I'll tell you too is if you look at, so here's Here's why I give no real credit to Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch. For those who don't know, look at this guy's. His guy is standing so erect, right? And he's got his center of gravity raised up, and he's even. I mean, he's not sinking his weight. So of course, if he's going to take a 135-pound, man's energy into him, he's going to go flying back several feet because that energy has nowhere else to go. So if you want to do a little bit more, try doing this on a guy who's rooted. But anyways, I want you to see this again. We're going to look at the slow motion aspect of it. This is nothing more than boom. He's changing. He's putting his power into him from a false time perceptive. Yeah, that's all that is. And you know what I mean? He's got his inch power. The 1-inch punch. Here's the 1-inch punch. Slow motion. It's the same thing. He's just, here's the torquing of the boom. That's false time, right? So I found this video by DKU, who I've seen his stuff before. It's not bad, but watch his true and false time stuff. So every time, this is false time here where he's moving with his feet to get to the Taekwondo instructor, and the distance is going to change, right? So let's look at this again. This is false time. He's going to telegraph it by moving. Boom. See the feet move the hand. Feet move the hand. Watch when he starts to lead. This is where he kicks off with the hand. Every time he gets to this Taekwondo instructor, it's because he's leading with the hand. If he's getting to him, the guy's focused on the hand. If you drop your peripheral vision and you look at nothing, see everything, which is a Wing Chun principle, you'll see it even more. But he's going to get to him because he now goes into true time. But again, look at that footwork that's being compromised. He's not going to have any power behind that hit. Doesn't mean that the hit won't be effective as a distraction hit or whatnot. I don't know what he gets into over here, but I want to look at that again. This is a great example of true time versus false time in the George Silver concept. Okay, false time, and I think he switches true time. He switches with the hand now. So it's not that he's not telegraphing the movement. At true time. So again, I came across that video the other day. I thought it was brilliant for a demonstration of, this is a true and false time explanation. George Silver, Paradox of Defense it's worth the read. I think it's 14th century. I think so. The English translation might be a little bit rough. Whoeth, thoeth, thoueth, saith. It's going to be a little bit hard on your processing, but it is what it is. Again, I think if you train the two, develop yourself, step and then punch and then step into the punch and see how fucked up it is from both delivering that energy and then how it affects the rest of your body after the contact is made. Do you have your body to back up the mass of that punch, or are you throwing what it is? It really is a mind fuck when you start training it, right? And I think it's important to experiment it. And again, do I like the way that Phil did it? No. But again, do I appreciate it? Yeah, because it made me a much better technician when it came down to my Wing Chun game for timing and being able to strike anywhere I want, with energy anyhow I want. So it's as simple as that. Hope that made sense. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the thanks button, show us some love, comment below what you want to see. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.